the Home Office has terminated the appointment of David Neal, the independent chief inspector of Borders and Immigration, after he breached the terms of appointment and lost the confidence of the Home Secretary. Yeah, I mean, we just had an email in the last 5 minutes or so from the Home Office with a very short statement saying the Home Office has terminated the appointment of David Neal, the independent chief inspector of Borders and Immigration, after he breached the terms of appointment and lost the confidence of the Home Secretary. The planned recruitment process for the next independent chief inspector of Borders is in progress. Now, it's worth me saying that his term of appointment, Mr. Neal's term of appointment, was due to end on the 21st of March this year anyway, but
Yeah.
he was informed today that his contract is immediately terminated. And John, I think most people could have seen this coming because over the last couple of weeks, particularly ramping up in the last week or so, David Neal has, been speaking openly to newspapers, including the Times newspaper, highlighting some findings from 13 reports that he submitted to the Home Office in the last year, which the Home Office has not published.
Yes.
He is clearly, really frustrated that his work has not been seen by the wider public. Just an example of a couple of those stories. In the Times a couple of days ago, he said that a quarter of foreign care workers are abusing UK visa rules by working illegally. He warned that that's not being taken seriously. And overnight, a story that's really sort of hit in Westminster, if you like, is the fact that hundreds of what are called high-risk flights have been allowed to land in the UK unchecked at a particular airport. Now, the government has come out strongly against this story and said that this actually is not accurate. It was a data recording problem, that these flights shouldn't have been categorised as high risk. But we put this to the Prime Minister's official spokesman in a lobby briefing this morning about, well, what exactly did happen here? And I have to say, John, didn't really get much in the way of a reassuring answer.
Yeah.
So evidently, Mr. Neal has got so frustrated, he's decided the best thing to do is just release his own reports to the press. But in doing so, has lost the confidence of the Home Secretary and has been sacked for it.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, David Neal's clearly become I don't know, like a pain for the government, pointed to a number of different holes in border security in a number of different areas. And when it comes to this report, the latest report in the Times of private jets and charter planes landing in London and people not even having their passport checks, they say that David Neal's been, I don't know, exaggerating, misrepresenting some of the reasons for that, which I think the government say has something to do with misrecording of what was going on. It exaggerated the position. He's been embarrassing for the government at a really bad and difficult time. Border security is such a touchstone issue.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, on that particular story, the one you mentioned about those high risk flights, what the government is saying is that these flights were accidentally categorized in a data mistake, if you like, as high risk when they should have been low risk flights. And they suggested that they had told Mr. Neal that there was a data problem. I think the issue with that story is that when the Prime Minister's official spokesman was asked, well, were people still checked, even if they were categorised as low risk, we weren't able to get a clear answer on that.
Yes.
So I think that the same concerns remain, which Mr. Neal was raising, which is that actually there is a loophole here for private jets, which has allowed people to land in the UK without being fully checked. And that could lead to criminals, potentially even human trafficking problems, which the government is clearly saying that they don't believe is the case here.
Mm.
I think if we step back, it is the fact that Mr. Neal's 13 reports haven't been published. And tonight, the Home Office is saying that it is committed to publishing those reports, which have been submitted, and will provide responses in due course. But evidently, given that Mr. Neal has submitted 13 over the course of a year, and we haven't seen any of them publicly, and as you say, they include some really worrying findings, including the Times' story from our Home Affairs editor, Matt Dathan, about the fact that visa rules are being misused in this country at a time when the government only yesterday announced changes to visa rules. It's exactly what they don't want to be talking about.
Really, really interesting, Kate. Thank you for that breaking news. The fact that David Neal, the independent chief inspector of Borders and Immigration, has been sacked after falling foul of the government, having pointed to failings and holes in border security in a number of key areas.